open source Java-based framework used to create a microservice. Springboot அப்படின்றது ஒரு open source Java-based framework microservice create பண்ணுறதுக்காக யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்கன்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. It is developed by pivotal team and is used to build standalone and production ready Spring application. This chapter will give you an introduction to Springboot and familiarizes you with its basic concepts. What is microservice? Microservice is an architecture that allows the developers to develop and deploy services independently. Each service running has its own process, and this achieves the lightweight model to support business applications. மைக்ரோசர்வீஸ் அப்படின்றது என்ன அப்படின்னா, அது என்னென்னா ஒவ்வொரு சர்வீஸையும் இண்டிபெண்ட்டாக டெவலப் பண்ணுறதுக்கு யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக ஒவ்வொரு சர்வீஸும் தனித்தனியாக அதுக்குன்னு ஒரு பர்பஸ் இருந்து ரன் ஆகும். ஒரு இதில் ஃபால்ட் வந்துச்சுன்னா அந்த இதில் மட்டும் கரெக்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். Microservice offers the following advantages to its developers: easy deployment, simple scalability, compatible with containers, minimum configuration, lesser production time. இப்போ மோனோலித்திக் அப்படின்னு ஒன்று இருக்கும். மோனோலித்திக் அப்படின்னு என்னென்னா, எல்லா சர்வீஸையும் மொத்தமாக ஒரே இதில் வச்சு பண்ணுறனால ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு இதில் ஃபால்ட் இருந்தாலும் மொத்த சாஃப்ட்வேருக்கே ப்ராப்ளம் ஆயிரும். இதுவே மைக்ரோ சர்வீஸ்ன்னு வரும்போது சின்ன சின்ன சர்வீஸ் தனித்தனி சர்வீஸாக வச்சு ஒவ்வொன்றும் தனித்தனியாக பண்ணுறனால ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு இதில் ப்ராப்ளம் இருந்துச்சுன்னா அந்த இதில் மட்டும் போய் நம்ம ஈஸியாக சரி பண்ணிக்கலாம். What is Springboot? Springboot provides a good platform for Java developers to develop a standalone and production-grade Spring application that you can just run. You can get started with minimum configuration without the need for an entire Spring configuration setup. Advantages. Springboot offers the following advantages to its developers: easy to understand and develop Spring applications, increase productivity, reduces the development time. என்ன சொல்கிறாங்க, ஸ்ப்ரிங் அப்ளிகேஷனை புரிஞ்சு டெவலப் பண்ணுறதுக்கு ஈஸியாக இருக்கும், ப்ரொடக்டிவிட்டி அதிகப்படுத்தும், டெவலப்மெண்ட் டைம் ரெடியூஸ் பண்ணும். Goals. Springboot is designed with the following goals: to avoid complex XML configuration in Spring, to develop a production-ready Spring application in an easier way, to reduce the development time and run the application independently, offer an easier way of getting started with the application. You can choose Springboot because of the features and benefits it offers as given here. It provides a flexible way to configure Java Beans, XML configurations, and database transactions. It provides a powerful batch processing and manages REST endpoints. In Springboot, everything is auto-configured. No manual configurations are needed. It offers annotation-based Spring application, eases dependency management. It includes embedded servlet container. How does it work? Springboot automatically configures your application based on the dependencies you have added to the project by using @enable auto configuration annotation. For example, if MySQL database is on your class path but you have not configured any database connection, then Springboot auto-configures an in-memory database. The entry point of the Springboot application is the class contains our Springboot application annotation and the main method. Springboot automatically scans all the components included in the project by using our component scan annotation. Springboot starters. Handling dependency management is a difficult task for big projects. Springboot resolves this problem by providing a set of dependencies for developers' convenience. For example, if you want to use Spring and JPA for database access, it is sufficient if you include Springboot Starter Data JPA dependency in your project. Note that all Springboot starters follow the same naming pattern. Springboot starter where star indicates that it is a type of the application. Examples. Look at the following Springboot starters explained below for a better understanding. Springboot starter actuator dependency is used to monitor and manage your application. Springboot starter security dependency is used for Spring security. Springboot starter web dependency is used to write a REST endpoints. Springboot starter time-leaf dependency is used to create a web application. Springboot starter test dependency is used for writing test cases. Auto configuration. Springboot auto configuration automatically configures your Spring application based on the jar dependencies you added in the project. For example, if MySQL database is on your class path but you have not configured any database connection, then Springboot auto configures an in-memory database. For this purpose, you need to add or enable auto configuration annotation or Springboot application annotation to your main class file. Then your Springboot application will be automatically configured. Springboot application. The entry point of the Springboot application is the class contains or Springboot application annotation. This class should have the main method to run the Springboot application. Our Springboot application annotation includes auto configuration, component scan, and Springboot configuration. If you added our Springboot application annotation to the class, you do not need to add the enable auto configuration, component scan, and Springboot configuration annotation. The Springboot application annotation includes all other annotation. Component scan. Springboot application scans all the beans and package declarations when the application initializes. You need to add the component scan annotation for your class file to scan your components added in your project. The main method should be writing the Springboot application class. This class should be annotated with Springboot application. This is the entry point of the Springboot application to start. You can find the main class file under src/java/main directories with the default package. In this example, the main class file is located at the src/java/main directories with the default package com.tutorials.demo. Write a REST endpoint. To write a simple hello world REST endpoint in the Springboot application main class file itself, follow the steps shown below. Firstly, add the @REST controller annotation at the top of the class. Now, write a request URI method with @request mapping annotation. Then, the request URI method should return the hello world string. Now, your main Springboot application class file will look like as shown in the code given below.